In the previous session, we discussed what is Apex class and how to create the data members and how to create the class methods and how to create the object of it and how I can call the different method using my object. So this much concepts we have seen and different type of data type what supported by Salesforce that we have seen. Okay. So now today we'll discuss more conceptual topics like we are going to discuss about what is constant in Salesforce, like in the Apex program in writing, how I can create a constant variable, or I can say what is constant, okay, and how to manipulate the expressions, and we'll see how to use the conversion. Okay, I'll talk about each individual topic one by one, and we'll see how we can use the control flow statements. Okay. These are the very basic things we'll discuss, and we'll use these basic things in upcoming sessions. So see, in the previous example, when we did, I discussed when I want to create a variable, what I need data type and my variable name. Then optionally, I can assign some value to it. Am I correct? Something I can assign. So now, like if I want to declare an integer number, what I do? My data type is integer. Let's see, variable name I gave as a number. Then I want to assign some value. I set as 10. Okay, and again I can write some more logic. Some more logic I can write. Okay, and after writing again, if need, I can set the value of this variable to 20 also. Or again, same way, I can write many more logics again. My programming logic I can write. Then again, I can set variable value to 15 also. See, the variable number initially had value 10, then I set to 20, then I set to 15. Okay, this value what I'm setting. So now let's see, I want this variable, whatever I have, I want this variable value should not be changed. Okay, should not be changed after initialization of it. Okay, if I want like this, what will happen? So I want, okay, let's see, I want like this. I want to create an integer variable, nothing but number, and I didn't set any value now. So I wrote some piece of logic. Okay, I'm just writing some dummy statements in the form of some logic, and then I'm going to set number value as 10, for example. Now again I can write some more logic, and wherever you go, again you are not allowed to update the value of this one. So if you want this kind of thing, then we can go for constant. We have to declare the constant. How we can declare the constant? So whenever you want to declare any constant, simply what you have to do, you have to use one keyword which we call constant. Okay, constant keyword have to use. So if I want this integer number one to be converted to constant, what I have to do? I have to write like this. Okay, sorry, it's not constant. I have to use keyword final. Okay, so what I have to do? I have to define final integer let's number. So this is nothing but a number variable of type integer, which is final type. So that means once I set value to it, I cannot add any more values, or I cannot update the values. Let's see how it's going to happen. So I'm in the Salesforce. Okay, I'm going to open my developer console. You can use any ID, whatever you have. You can use your Visual Studio Code. You can use your Force.com ID or developer console, or any, you may use aside.io like this also. You can use whatever ID you want, you can use. So for our example, I'm going to my developer console. Okay, I'm just going to write some piece of anonymous code. Okay, as I said, I'm not going to save this code. Simply I will execute. So anyhow, in upcoming session, I'll explain what this what this developer console going to do for us. But for now, I'm going to write some piece of anonymous code. So I go into my debug. From here, I open execute anonymous window. So I'm just moving everything here. So what I want, see, if I want to create an integer, I just specify here integer number equal to 10. Correct? Then again, let me make a statement here to debug any message in the log file. I can print like this. Okay, so I use system.debug. Then I want to see what is the value of number. Okay, now let's see, I don't have any value. So now what I can do, I can come here, then again I can set value of number as 10. Let's see, I want to set. So that means nothing but after first initialization, what is the value coming here? Correct? See, my number. So now same way, I'm just going to update this number value to something else. So see, if I update, the value is going to be 20, and if I say after second initialization, the value is 10 or 20. What is the value I have right now? So is this allowing to update or not? So let's see. Second initialization, I was just going to do it. So now I'll see if I go and execute it, what is going to happen, and I'll see in the log what is happening. So I have declared one number variable of type integer, and in there I have set value 10, and then I have set value 20. That means once I initialize a value, again also I'm trying to modify it. So say it's a normal variable which we declared. So now if I execute, see, okay, sorry, number I should use not like this. It's a keyword. Let's see, I'm just using like this. It's my fault. Okay, see. So the keywords you cannot use as a variable name. That also you saw here. So we have to use non-keyword words to be declared as variable. Okay, I click on execute. This piece of code executed. We'll see what is coming on my log file. I open my developer console here. Then I click on my debug only statements. See, initially my value was null. If you see, first I don't have any value assigned to number variable. No. So that means when I print this no, the value is coming as null. It's nothing is there. So now I assign value as 10. So if I print it, you can see value is 10. You can see the statement. First initialization number 10. Then again I initialized, or you can say I modified the value to 20 with the same variable. I'm just updating the value. So now value came to 20. So see, now that means I can modify the value again and again whenever I want. If I want, okay, no, once you initialize, you are not allowed to modify. Simply I have used the keyword called as final. Something I wrote final here. It's a keyword. So I define this as a final. Now if I try to execute, what is happening? See, it's showing some exception. It's system final exception. Final variables have already been initialized. That means it's saying you have been already initialized the value to my final variable. If you on this statement, there is a final variable we declared whose name is number. So I have initialized the number value at line number 3. And again, I'm trying to initialize or trying to update the value on line number 5. So it's not allowing. So I cannot save this piece of code also, or I cannot run this piece of code, because final variable you can initialize only once. You see, I just commented this line code, and now I'm trying to execute. See, now I'm successfully able to execute. So once you initialize value of any final variable, then that became constant. So nowhere in the same transaction can be updated by any logic or by any user the value of this variable. Is this clear? This is basically called constant. If you want to declare any constant, then you can declare like this. Okay. I'll show you in upcoming session when you take examples of writing trigger or any Apex programming. That time I'll show you how I'm going to use these final or constant variables on my program. Okay, just now understand the concepts. Manas or Lokesh, any question on this constant part?
Yeah, no devices. So only you're saying one thing, right? So whenever you use the final as a keyword, the variable becomes constant.
Constant. Till it will allow only to initialize once. See, I have initialized here, so it's allowing. And in the when I declare, I didn't set any value. That means I didn't initialize anything. If in see this program we run right now, it is executing, correct? Yeah, I
Yes.
execute, it's successfully executing. But see, if I initialize some value here now, and again also there is an initialization statement of same variable on line number 3. If I try to execute, okay, it's not allowing. So only one time initialization can be done. See, only
So,
one time you can initialize. If you this same variable of type final, or you can say of constant variables, cannot be initialized multiple times.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So now see, okay, Rasmi, any question from this part? Or is this clear? Okay, that's fine. Okay, I think Rasmi not able to hear us. That's fine. Okay, no worries. So we understood what is constant, and in the constant we understood. Okay, the variable whose value do not change after being initialized, that we called my constant variables. Okay, I'm just keeping this note for you so that I can share with you. Okay, or you can use in the when you practice or when you want to refer, you can use these notes. Okay, I'm just keeping here. Okay, perfect. So we understood how I am going to declare any constants or any variable whose value cannot be modified after being initialized. Okay, so now if you remember in the previous session, we have discussed many data types. Let me show you that. We have discussed like my blob, my boolean, my date, or integer, long, many things. Okay. So now whenever we have many data types, what is going to happen? Let me see something like conversion. How this conversion going to work? Okay. So now when I'm saying the conversion rules, see, I have this is again the basic concept which we need to know for our upcoming sessions. Let's see, I have one integer variable. Let's see, integer roll number or maybe integer number one. Okay, I have some value which we call 100. Okay, and also I have another variable double. Let's see d number. Okay, and I want this number one should be copied to number two. Okay, so nothing but my number one is one value, and also let's see, I have one variable called string, and let's see, I said str1 where I stored something like Salesforce. Okay, so can I store the str1 value to my integer type of variable? If I have one more integer, let's see, int1, can I store my str1 there? In this Salesforce whose value is stored in str1 variable, can this str1 can be initialized to integer?
No.
No, because as I explained in the previous session, what I said, it's basically it can store the same type of data, correct? So now being the str1 is a string type, I am not able to assign to integer, but there is also some kind of a conversion rule. Okay, so what we can do if you want to convert one type, okay, to another type, what kind of things we can do? What kind of things we need to consider? For example, this integer number and I have double, but double can store 100 also. Am I correct? Nothing but can I store number one here? So not double or long can take my integer value also. So when I say, let's consider I have one decimal part. Can I define decimal number equal to 100? Is it possible or not?
Yes, we can.
Yes. So that means this 100 nothing but my integer value. Correct?
Yes.
See, there are something which we can automatically assign. Integer to decimal I can do, or my integer to double also we can do. So what I'm trying to say here, whenever you have this kind of thing, so the variable of lower type, I'll define what is a lower type. Variable of lower numeric types can always be assigned to my higher type without any explicitly conversion. Okay, there are many methods which I'll talk in upcoming sessions. Just I'm giving you basic of it. Okay, so now when I say lower, I'm just giving the sequence of the lower. Integer is my lower numeric type. After integer, my type is nothing but long. Okay, like these are primitive data types what we have listed out in the previous session. Okay, then same way I have double, then I have decimal. Okay, So see, any integer value you can assign to long automatically, because integer is a lower part. Long can store any integer, and also long can be stored in any double, and any double can be stored in decimal without loss of any data. So now in the integer, if I have 100, that 100 can be stored in long also. Okay, and that double can be stored in that 100 can be stored in double also, and that 100 can be stored in decimal also. Same way, if you see in a long part, if I have some long integer, okay, some long integer is given reference. So can this be also? You see, if this long integer, it may not store in integer, it may not fit in the size, but obviously it will fit in the double, and also it will fit on the decimal also. Okay, so same way, if I go to double, okay, let's see something like this I have. Okay, so this double value what I have, it can be easily accommodate to my decimal value, okay, without any explicitly conversion. Simply I can assign like this. Okay, but just think, if I try to assign my decimal value to integer, okay, let's see, let me make little small, 1 2 3 decimal 6 7. If I have this kind of value, okay, can I store this value in integer? If I am able to store, my decimal point is going to be truncated, going to be lost somewhere, correct? So I cannot store 123.67 in my integer. My integer can store only 123. Am I correct? So that means if I try to convert from higher type to lower type, then we may have loss of data, okay, or loss of value. So if you see in the decimal, I can store 123.67. If I try to convert that to integer, I may have only 123. Okay, so I'll show you there are many methods on each type of integer, nothing but a class for us. There are many methods how we can convert from one type to another type. So now for the basic, what I'm saying, we can convert one data type to another type. There are some types which are no need of external conversion method. We can explicitly convert by assigning from lower to higher. So if I have an integer variable number 1, that can be assigned to double simply by writing a expression statements like this. Number 1 can be assigned to my double variable. So same way, any lower type can be assigned to the higher type explicitly. Okay, and if you try to assign any higher type to lower type, it may lose some data. Okay, I'll show you how we are going to assigning all these kind of things. Okay, so when you go to each individual classes, that time I'll show you how we are going to do it. Any question till now? Location minus Rasmi?
I'm good, thank you.
Yep, perfect. Okay, so now we are going to